Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nathan. If you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's a pre-fight episode for UFC on Fox. Poirier versus Alvarez 2, the rematch in the lightweight division. It's going to be pretty exciting. And yeah, this is a pretty good stacked UFC on Fox card. I'm pretty excited. Dana White did a good job here. Him and the matchmakers, Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby. They ought to be proud of themselves on this UFC and Fox card. Calgary's going to love it. Anyways, enough of selling this thing. Let's get to it. So this is a pre-fight rundown of the main card, 4-fight main card on Fox, Big Fox. And let's get started. And yeah, with predictions, of course, added in there. So in the lightweight division, we had Eddie Alvarez, former UFC champ and former Bellator champ in the lightweight division, going up against Dustin Poirier, who's been a top-ranked lightweight and a top-ranked featherweight, but he's looked pretty darn good at lightweight as of late. So I am picking, yeah. You know what? I went back and forth on this one. I was gonna say Poirier, but then I looked at my fantasy over here, and yeah, I'm going with Eddie Alvarez. I think the wrestling is going to be a factor, and I think Eddie Alvarez determined to get back on track here, get to that title shot, so I think Eddie Alvarez, having the experience in these big time fights and these big main events and being world champion in 2 big promotions, I think the experience factor will be here, and I could picture him winning a decision here, maybe a split decision. I don't think it's going to be like 5 dominant rounds of Eddie Alvarez, but I think Eddie Alvarez will be able to do enough to get 3 rounds out of the 5 and win a decision, and know how to pace himself a little bit better in this 5-rounder. So, but Dustin Poirier has a definite good chance, and I will give Dustin Poirier a 45% chance of winning this fight. I think it's pretty close. I mean, I'm not too confident in my Eddie Alvarez pick, so if I'm wrong, don't be shocked. But I'm giving a slight edge to Eddie Alvarez. So then in the co-main event in the featherweight division, we have former UFC featherweight champ Jose Aldo versus Jeremy Stephens, who's been in the UFC for eons. This guy knocked out RDA back at UFC 91. That's how far back he goes. Yeah, he's been in the UFC for ages and ages and ages. Yeah, this guy and still has a career more to go too, which is pretty amazing. So I'm picking Jeremy Stephens, 2nd round knockout. I think although it hasn't been the same after the Conor McGregor loss and the losses to Max Holloway, that I think that Jeremy Stephens stylistically is a heavy-handed fighter with good footwork. Lions taught him well, and he's going to be ready for this. And I think that this is his time to shine. So I'm picking Jeremy Stephens, 2nd round knockout. He hits too hard, and he's going to be too fast for Aldo, I think. Yeah, so there we have it. And then in the women's strawweight division, we have Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Tecia Torres. This is a tough one, but I'm going to go with Joanna because I think, again, if you saw my previous episodes on Joanna fights, I think she got robbed in the Rose Namajunas rematch. The first one, obviously, she got knocked out, but the second one, she got robbed in the decision. She clearly won that fight if you look at the stats. Like I shown on that episode I did on Fight Metric. I brought up Fight Metric and I showed the stats, and it clearly showed that Joanna won that fight. So I'm picking Joanna by a unanimous decision here. I think she outstrikes Tecia, and she avoids some big ground attack, and I think this will be a confidence booster in Joanna in getting hopefully another shot at the belt sometime in the near future. I think, yeah, this fight stays standing, and she outpoints Tecia on strikes to win unanimous decision. Then in the lightweight division to kick off the main card, we have Alexander Hernandez versus Olivier Aubin Mercier. And I'm going with Mercier on this one because it's in Canada, and Calgary's not too far from the French Quebec. And Olivier trains at TriStar with Faraz Zahabi, and this guy is pretty decent at striking and great at his takedowns and his takedown defense and his grappling skills. So I think Olivier wins this by decision, but Alex Hernandez no slouch, and he definitely deserves his main card slot. So I could see maybe a 29-28 unanimous decision win for Olivier. I could see maybe Alexander Hernandez winning one round, but I think Olivier is going to be good enough to win the other two. So there you have it. There's my picks on this one, and yeah, the Ronda Marcos Nina Ansaroff fight in women's strawweight on the Fight Pass prelim should be good too. So anyhow, that wraps up my pre-fight show for this card. Stay tuned in the coming days for my post-fight, and until then, see ya.